What's up, ISB teachers and students? My name is Mr. Plotsky, Mr. Dale, and today I want to walk you through a little workshop I put together about mastering the Mac operating system. So oftentimes a lot of teachers use Macs, a lot of students use Macs, and we just take them out of the box and start working with them. But if we look around with the settings, there's things that we can do, small things that are going to make us way more efficient and way more effective with our device. So right off the bat, you have a bit.ly on the screen right there, bit.ly/ISB Mac 101 case sensitive. That'll take you to today's presentation. There's a few handy links you might want to hold on to. So today we're going to be talking about how to improve our efficiency with macOS. And since this is a video, we're not going to be crowdsourcing any tips and tricks. However, you could leave them down in the comments below if you'd like. We're going to be looking at three parts. So we're going to be talking about the Apple button and the system preferences up here. So this little area. Then we're going to be talking about the menu bar, which is kind of all of this stuff up here. And then a few tips and tricks and a share out. So let's get into it. Let's start with the Apple button. And the first thing I want to show you is when you come up to your Apple button and you click on System Preferences, or pardon me, when you click on About This Mac, in this pop-up window, there's a ton of really important information for you to be aware of. So it's going to tell you your operating system, what version it is, how old your computer is. So mine's from 2015, how much memory is on the device, and all sorts of stuff like that. If you have a software update, it'll appear right here. Also, very important, storage. When you click on storage, it takes like a minute to calculate, but this will tell you how much have you used up and how much do you still have available. Once it starts getting pretty full, like let's say 75–80%, it can start to impact your performance. So keep an eye on here to know when it's time to clean off and wipe your device. You should always be storing things in the cloud or on an external drive, and if something does happen to your computer, you should not lose too much data. All right. Let's go into another really cool area. Let's go into System Preferences, also in the same Apple icon. So in System Preferences, there is a lot of stuff to check out. And this is kind of like the control hub for your computer. So here's where you can make little changes that are going to make your computer much, much faster. Let's come on down to the trackpad. So oftentimes when you first open up a Mac, your tracking speed or how fast your fingers will move the mouse icon it's set to about here. And that means if I want to get like to the top corner, I need to go 1, 2, 3 moves to get up there. That shouldn't take that long. So I want you to turn yours up to maybe 75%, or maybe if you're feeling plucky, all the way up to fast, okay? And that way your mouse will just be like a Ferrari zipping around the screen. It might be hard to get used to at first, but give it 2 or 3 days. Your brain is very, very malleable and will really quickly adapt to the new setting. Now let's come on back into System Preferences and let's go into Desktop and Screensaver. This one that I want to suggest now is kind of controversial, but it's one that I absolutely love, okay? Hot corners. So what are hot corners? Hot corners are just little triggers, we'll say, that when your mouse moves into a corner of the screen, maybe up here, maybe down here, an action happens. So if I come up here, you get to see mission control, everything that's happening on my device. If I come down here, that's my desktop. And if I come down to the lower left, which I won't do, it puts it to sleep. So this is really great because, if I take a screenshot like this, and then we come to my desktop, it will appear 1, 2, 3, there it is. So now I can just drag it off of my desktop and come in and let's say, drop it onto a presentation just like that. So it allows me to really quickly navigate around my screen. Once you turn on hot corners and get used to them, you will never use a Mac without them again. All right, and let's come back into System Preferences one more time. The last thing I want to show you, you can set your hot corners to be mission control, desktop, or put them to sleep. I would recommend this setup right here. Don't put anything in the upper left-hand corner because that's where all your little control icons are, and that could cause accidental triggers, so don't do that. But I'd recommend this setup, mission control, desktop, and put display to sleep. Let's go back one step and let's look at accessibility. Now, there is a really handy tool for teachers right here, and it is called Zoom. Not like the online chat platform, but Zoom as in zoom in, zoom out. So I have this checked right here. Use keyboard shortcuts to zoom and use the control button as the toggle. So that means when I take one finger and I hold down control and I take two fingers and I move up or down on the trackpad, it zooms in and out on the device. So just like that. So this is really handy. Let's say I want to get the kids to focus on just one part of the screen. I can just click on control and zoom in there, and that is what they're going to see. It follows wherever your cursor is. So wherever your cursor goes, that's where the zoom is going to go. Super, super handy. It helps them avoid distraction as well. Okay, so that's everything in system preferences. Let's go talk about the last thing, which is recent. So kind of like in Google Drive, you have a recent tab. You also have a recent tab in your Mac, okay? And it's all of the programs and all the files that you've just been using. So when you open up your device, you don't need to go looking through Finder and opening up other programs and going to looking for things, because it's all stored right here. So make sure you're aware and make sure you're using your recent tab. It'll save you time. All right, so the first part's done. Let's talk about the menu bar. Really, really quick. There's a couple things that you can have up in the menu bar, which are quite helpful. You can have your Bluetooth turned on, and if you use like an external keyboard a lot and you want to make sure that it's there, you can have your Bluetooth icon appear in your menu bar. So let's go back into System Preferences. We'll choose Bluetooth, and right down here in the middle, show Bluetooth in the menu bar. So by checking this icon, you turn on the Bluetooth, and that way you can say connect your mouse, your speaker, your keyboard to your device. You got your Wi-Fi status. Always make sure you're on ISP staff if you're a teacher. Oftentimes, if your computer jumps to the other networks, you're not going to be able to connect your device to the projector. We got our battery and our power source. I like to show percentage. Some people turn that off and then they can just see the icon, but for me, show percentage is a little bit more accurate. You got a clock that you can play around with, but really what I want to show you here is this notification area. So it looks like three little lines with three little dots. And there's not a lot here that's really cool. You got a clock, a calendar. I don't use my Apple Calendar, so it's empty. You got some weather you can check out. But what I do want to show you is this, night shift. So for both students and teachers, this is a very important thing. Because I'm filming a video, you can't see what's going to do to the screen, but when you toggle it on, your screen becomes like a yellowy orange color. And what that's going to do is it's going to protect your eyes at night. So if you have to work on your device in the evening time, come into the menu item and go up to night shift and turn it on, and it's going to make it much easier on your eyes and interfere with your sleep a lot less. Beside that, there's a really cool important area called Spotlight. So it looks like that magnifying glass. Click on it one time and you can search your whole computer. So you can search the word like PDF, and every PDF that you have on your computer is going to come up. Or you can do things like search for a particular program like Chrome, for example, and it'll allow you to open a Chrome or an application right there. You can also do things like math, so you can do 54 times 32. It's going to give me the answer. I could even do something like 100 USD in KRW, and it's going to give me the conversion rate. So it does a whole lot of things. But rather than coming up to the corner and clicking on the spotlight icon, I would recommend you take two fingers and you go Command Space. So the space bar, we all know, is the long one in the middle, the command bar beside it, and that'll just toggle it on and off, just like that. All right, we're almost done. Last thing, keyboard shortcuts. So we just talked about Command Space being your spotlight icon. You also have a really important one, Command Option Escape. So let's try that. That is your quit program, force quit applications. So if your computer's slow or something's lagging, you can open this up and close it and get back to work easily. If you have like a lot of documents selected, so let's go to Finder, and I want to select all of these now. Here I just have like, 8, but if I select one and I go Shift Option down, it's going to select all of them. So if I had to upload hundreds of documents at one time, that would allow me to select them, and I can just move them around like they're just one big group. You can go up or you can go down with that trick. We all know the volume button for up or down. But if you hold Alt, Shift, and down, you get fine volume. So that's three changes per notch. So you can really fine tune your volume that way. You have if you hit the space bar, you get a preview. So if I click on just one time on a document, hit space, it's going to show me a preview of whatever that is. That works for videos, pictures, documents, everything. It's a really quick way to see what is inside of something. Control Command Space, very important. The emoji keyboard. So anywhere you can put a letter, you can put an emoji in an email title, in a presentation title. Anywhere you put in a letter, you can put an emoji. And you always have this ready to go. And my final one, Control Command Shift 4. Let's see if I can Control Command Shift 4. It's just like a normal, it's just a normal screenshot, but usually screenshots go to the desktop. This one does not. This one stays on my clipboard. So if I add another slide right here, I can just go ahead and go Command V, and it's going to drop on that screenshot without having to look for it, which is really handy. And the final thing I want to show you is dock size and window management. So a couple more things you can check out in this presentation, but if I pull off a tab and then I come up here to the stoplight button, so red, yellow, green, and you can see that if I click and hold the green one, I have the option of going into the left, to the right, or full screen. So let's choose the right. So you're going to see it automatically sizes that window to half of it, half my screen. And then if I select here and jump to like my drive, I could have my drive and my email side by side, or my kids' work and my presentation side by side. So very, very, very handy stuff. And then you can just go click on it one more time and that'll take it off. Okay, that was a lot of information. You're welcome to come back to this mini URL, bit.ly/ISBMac101, and you're going to be able to go back and explore all of this as you want. I hope you found that helpful. I hope you learned at least one new thing with your Mac. Take care.